All right, good morning out there. Welcome to Coffee and Resales. Let me make sure we are still, everything is good. Everything is good and quick. Okay. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Resales. My name is Ryan. I get stuff from yard sales, garage sales, thrift stores, similar places. Try to make a few extra bucks online. This past weekend, I drank some coffee. And I had a really good day at the flea market. I went out with my eldest son, who is a middle teenager with all its proclivities, but he's got good energy and he works hard. And so I bring him out and he gets 25% of whatever we sell. And so we went out there, and typically I'm doing good. My goal is to make $300. Typically I'm doing good to clear $2. But this weekend, we brought in about $400. And what did I sell? I sold Hot Wheels out the yin yang. How I do Hot Wheels is I will buy big bags of them or big bins of them at garage sales and thrift stores. If I can get them for less than 25 cents a piece, or if I can see, hey, that one's valuable and will pay for most of this lot. Hey, hourly flipper. Yes, you made it live. Yes, good money at the flea market. And so what I do is give them 25 cents a piece or less on real Hot Wheels, real Matchbox, not the cheap Chinese stuff. And sell the ones that probably, if they bring $8 or more on eBay, I will put them on eBay and sell them. And otherwise, I bring them out there and sell them 50 cents to $1 a piece. So that's how I handle my Hot Wheels. And we probably brought in over $50 in Hot Wheels. And I've done more than $100 in Hot Wheels out there before. And then I had a bunch of old barn, usually they're classed as barn tools, old hand tools that like big bunch were my grandfather's. And I brought them out there. These were tools that they're worth about between $5 and $15 a piece. And I had one guy just almost completely clean me out of it. He spent about $120 at my booth. He was another dealer, and I think he travels around and does this sort of stuff. So I made him a good deal, and I unloaded a whole lot of stuff on him. And I watched him, and he hardly sold any of it out there. But the flea market I attend is a lower middle class to lower class area. And so people at this flea market are notoriously cheap. Most of the people out there selling are regulars and regular dealers, a lot of pallet sellers out there. So when I show up, I show up about once a quarter. And I do decently because I have stuff that a lot of them don't. Nobody else had Hot Wheels out there. Couple guys had barn tools, but nobody near what I had. And a mishmash of other stuff we sold and did pretty good with it. And came home with some cash in our pocket and less stuff at the house. And so it's all nice. So ran by the thrift store and dropped off a couple boxes of stuff I knew wasn't going to sell. So got rid of a handful of stuff too, so it was all good. Cleared out some room, and that's always nice. And so that's how we wind up. That's what I do once a quarter. So if you have a local flea market, there's three things that are really good to sell, to try to sell out there. One, cheap stuff, sub $3 items. People pick it up all the time. That's why Hot Wheels works so well. Is that you can get I sell them 50 cents a piece. Everybody with kids walks by and spends a few bucks. Had one lady, she wanted to fill up a carrier or like some sort of collector carrier for her kids. So she bought $15 worth of cars. And that didn't happen just once. You have a collector roll out there looking for certain cars. He'll clean out. So it came out pretty good yesterday. And the other things that sell real well, those $5 to $15 to $20 items that's about what they're worth to ship. They're really good to bring out there at a flea market, and that's what those barn tools were. Stuff that that people don't mind dropping $10 on something old and cool, and they're not going to spend much more than that online. It's hard to make any money like that on something like that online. And the other thing that's good to bring out there is probably I think I sold a table saw for $40. Not table saw, a compound miter saw, a Delta miter saw for $40. Bigger stuff that you can carry by hand. Not furniture. It takes two people to carry. It has to be a one person to carry thing. And that's another that category that there's no good way to flip it online. Maybe Facebook Marketplace, but if I can bring it out there and get it sold, it's a lot easier because you deal with cash money, ain't got to worry about people. So anyway, that's how that worked out. Okay, on to the sales for this weekend. 6 sales that were decent. We'll go over those. Starting out low dollar but good profit percentage wise. Pokemon cards. This is a Marshadow GX card. Pokemon cards are great. Pokemon, and I like doing Pokemon and Magic. Particularly if you can kind of get them at a yard sale or something like that and go through them and find the ones, and you can make profit on them at $2. This one for $3 shipped, because shipping on them is 70 cents or something like that off of eBay. They got a good way to do cards, so that's why it's really, really good. I'm probably going to pull everything off a TCG Player. I put a bunch of stuff up there a couple months ago, and nothing's really moved, and I don't have any, and so I think you need whatever I've got in market. So I'm gonna probably. I think my prices are decent, just didn't move it. So I'm gonna have to do that. So, but yeah, $3, but I'm gonna make $2 on that. Next up are these. These are Dragonfly hairpins. Picked these up off of one of the cheap Chinese websites. I picked a batch of them up. These sold for $7. So I've sold a couple of these. These haven't flown off the shelf, but I snagged them and give them a chance for like a couple bucks a piece. And so nice to see those sell. Next up, don't buy this hat. I think I found a comp for this for I thought I found a comp for this hat. This one for $8. It's a Paradise Island Atlantis. It's like Jamaica or Bahamas or something. I got for this. So it's an orange hat. So $8 on that. Don't get vacation hats. I haven't found one yet that resells. Maybe there's some out there that do. I think the only time that I've got Planet Hollywood didn't. I have a Planet Hollywood that didn't sell, but I also have Hard Rock Cafe. I think is the only ones that I seem to do okay, but otherwise it doesn't seem a lot of vacation place type hats do all that great. All right, next up we're going to get to 26. I think I messed up on this one. Treasury of Aesop's Fables. I picked this up for $2 and sold for $9, which means I might make $1 off of eBay on it. And I think I messed up in grabbing it. I've got another one similar to it. I got these last week. So this is something I should have picked up for $1 or less instead of spending $2 on it. So this is a nice little book. Nice leather covered. Really looks great on a shelf. So, but should have been more. Or maybe I should have put these two together. I've got another one in the series that's signed to William Shakespeare. Maybe I should have put these two together for $15, and then I would have probably done a lot better. So, lessons learned. All right. Next, last weekend, I went to, no, it's Thursday. I got this Thursday. Last Thursday, I went to a local estate sale and picked up a handful of things, including this is a green Levi's denim jacket that I think I spent $2 on, and it sold for $26 shipped. So Levi's denim jackets, I don't think I failed to sell one yet. So the different levels of them. I think I've sold one for $100, and then this one was like 26. So, uh, denim jackets are worth looking at. I went through a stage one time. I want to say like my local Last Chance Goodwill, where I just grabbed every denim jacket I could get my hands on, sort of as an experiment. I sold most of them, but not for a lot of money. So I think I wound up coming out positive for it, but I don't know that it was worth it. So something to think about. But clothing sellers know a lot more about that than like regular clothing sellers. I do. I know a handful of stuff and try to stick to that and then branch out. Sometimes you can afford learning experience worth doing. Finally, this bad boy, Foucault, Michel Foucault, so 4 History of Sexuality books. Foucault is one of those guys who asked a lot of good questions and came up with all the wrong answers. So from what I can kind of tell, and he was kind of perv. So he's kind of fallen out of favor, I think, in philosophy circles lately. He's one of those guys that there's you can probably find guys who did with better reputations that said the similar stuff. So anyway, but his books still sell. These went for 40 for a set of 4. So bingo. So what do I have? Oh, some fines. Didn't get a lot of fines out of the flea market. Like I said, it's usually a lot of dealers. I think a lot of people out there do eBay and online sales. So not a lot of people selling stuff that I could flip. You have to if you got somebody out there who's not a regular, it's like the vultures descend on the guy. So but nobody out there. But I did get this one thing, and this is a little beat up. But this is a Chevy light truck duty 1030 series shop manual. Now, shop manuals are great buys, but you got to get the ones directly from manufacturer. This is probably a $30 to $50 book. Probably closer to 30 is because it's been beat up and used. Better condition ones, I think, are going for closer to 50. But I've had great success getting manufacturer shop. These are the ones your mechanic is going to have, not your Chilton's or Haynes books necessarily. Though those are going to still be pretty good, but the resale on those is really low unless they're really specific vehicles, like muscle cars and that sort of stuff. Those the ones that sell decently, but these are the ones you really want to grab to flip. You notice how thick it is. It's a whole lot. There maybe more content than the Haynes manual to these things. So grab these when you see them, particularly if you get them for less than $5 a piece. I think I got this for, yeah, I grabbed this one for $5 because I figured it would probably go for more than 20, and I think I'll be right on that. So that's like the major find I had this past that I didn't report about. I had a bunch of Bible stuff that I talked about last Friday. If you wanted to check that video out. Other than that, I think that's everything. And I got a lot of work a little bit built up. So there we go. Like, comment, subscribe, and I hope I'll see you next time. We'll see. Have a good one.